Hey, everybody. Hopefully, you're having a good day. My name is Andy, and my channel is Finding Value. I'm always looking for value. That's how you make money. If you find the value, you find 100 stacks of $100 bills all over the place, and then they just keep depositing them in your account under the name of those undervalued investments, like an EXK or a ENCUF, Encore Energy, or a Deep Yellow. They are all undervalued, and they just continue to put money in the account. Obviously, investment money as the price goes up. That's what I'm referring to. So this one is ratio investing. I'm gonna do some personal. I swapped some metals. You guys are probably like, when do you swap metals? I'll show you when I swapped them, and I'll show you why I swapped them. I'll describe it all. I'll show you the ratios. I'll show you the charts real time. This is my second time, I think, presenting this. So I've done this before. I know I have a lot of new subscribers. Some people like the refreshing. You know, they want to be refreshed on what I am looking for, what I did, how I did it. And I'll try to describe it all in this presentation. So this is ratio investing. This is when I swapped my gold and palladium. So I'll show you what I was looking at. So this is the big old ratio investing presentation. So here's my experience. I purchased palladium back in the early to mid 2000s. It was extremely cheap. I was somewhat lucky because I didn't know the ratios as well. I just knew that it was cheap in relationship to everything else, just based off of a gut feeling. I didn't know all of this ratio stuff way back when I first started investing, so I got lucky on my palladium purchase. I saw the ratio for palladium to other metals got expensive. And I did know what I was doing at that point, and I swapped them to something else. So I swapped my palladium for another metal. I'm going to walk you through why I swapped my metals and the process of swapping the metals at a dealer. So here's the platinum to palladium ratio. I bought it when, where was it? No, I bought it actually, oh, it's on that one. I think I bought it up here when I bought palladium, because palladium was cheap in relationship to platinum, and I think it was like 3 or 4. I think I bought it in here because this is too early. I didn't buy it there. I bought it like in here when it was pretty cheap. I think it was 2005 or 6, my guess. And looking at here, let me go back. This was an expensive period in this area. You come on down, and then you want to swap it when it goes back up. And palladium was expensive back here in relationship to platinum, which means that you could swap your palladium for platinum on a 1-to-1 basis. That's very rare. Up here, this means that platinum can buy 3 to 4 ounces of palladium all through this section up here. That's kind of the norm. The norm's like 3. And what we saw is the complete opposite. I was holding palladium. It was in this like downtrend, just killing it. And I was like, the market conditions are changing. We've got a real estate was going from a recovery phase to an expansion phase. And we had a COVID sell-off. And COVID drove platinum way down into the dirt. It was below the mid-cost, middle tier cost curve. And basically what that means is you can't lose. Literally, because all of the high-cost producers and even the medium-cost producers were cutting back on platinum production, depending on what their mix is. If they produced a lot of palladium, they were still making money. They were still producing. But some of the more platinum plays, I guarantee they were pulling back because it was so cheap and so out of whack. So in this circle down here, this is the platinum to palladium ratio. We got below 0.35. And if you look at that, I mean, we were down here in no man's land where that ratio has never been that cheap in history. So I did my swaps. I did it right, I think, in here, or maybe it was here. It was one of these swaps right around 0.35. And the reason I swapped it is I was looking at it and I said, well, platinum's never been this cheap. It's below the middle cost of the cost curves. It literally can't go any lower. That was my reasoning. and the ratio was a screaming buy at 0.35. I said, I'm doing it. So I swapped my palladium for platinum because of the ratio, because of the cost curves, and it was a very easy swap. Now, let me come out here. I took my physical palladium. I got it from where I store it. I went into the dealer. I said, I want to swap palladium for platinum. And he said, okay. It's that easy. You give him the metal, and I had to do the deal. So the dealer, the person that I was dealing with in person wasn't the buyer of these metals. It was a dealer that he dealt with. So what he did is he didn't have the platinum on hand. So I gave him, we did a swap with a third party. He was the guy that was the middleman. He swapped it with his dealer. He bought my palladium from me, gave me store credit, and then I bought the platinum with store credit. Now, it is the responsibility of the person doing the transaction to report any taxes. The dealer does not have to do a 1099 if your transactions are less than a certain amount. For palladium, it's 100 ounces. So if I transacted in one transaction greater than 100 ounces, the dealer would be required to do a 1099 and send that into whatever. Now, if you're not over 100 ounces, the dealer is not required to do a 1099. It is based upon you doing your taxes. So it is up to you. Just wanted to let you guys know that. So here is, and that is not tax advice. You guys are going to have to seek an advisor. I'm not a tax person. I was just telling you my experience. So I swapped my metals for platinum. Here's the palladium to silver ratio. That was also a very good swap if I wanted to swap my palladium to silver. This is the average. I created this chart. This is just an average. You could tell when it gets to 140, it is at an extreme valuation. We were coming on up, and here's the real-time chart. Look at this. Another peak at 160, 170 was the peak for the palladium to silver ratio. What does that mean? It means that silver's dirt cheap and palladium's expensive in relationship to it. So I had the expensive metal. I held it from an undervalued state to an overvalued state. And silver was going to be the metal that I swapped into, but everyone was buying silver. And the premiums were gigantic. And guess what? No one was buying platinum, and the premiums were super low. So rather than me deciding on this double top of a ratio, one top and two top, and if you notice, double bottom on platinum, I decided to go with platinum because I didn't have as much platinum. I had a lot more silver, and the ratios for platinum were cheaper on all of the metals. Platinum was cheap in relationship to silver during this time frame, but silver was another metal, and the premiums were just so large that it forced me, not really forced me, I chose to go into platinum. Here's the gold to palladium ratio. This guy is expensive, so palladium was more than gold by quite a bit when I was looking at this swap, and it's favorable to swap the palladium out. This is what it looked like real time. It was all the way down below 0.65. We were like way down here. We were basically at the same level in 2000. So silver and platinum were the spot to be. Here's the platinum to gold ratio. Platinum is just dirt cheap. There's no reason to go into gold when platinum's down at 0.4. The ratio here is usually about 1.5, 1.2, somewhere in there. So platinum's usually 20% more than gold in terms of its price. We were less than half the price of gold. So what did I do? I swapped some gold into platinum too. I said, you know what? This is an anomaly. There's no way it's going to stay down here. So I swapped at 0.425, I think, somewhere in there. So I swapped 1 ounce of gold. I got over 2 ounces of platinum back. I think that platinum will be more expensive than gold possibly in this next bull market. Very high likelihood. So my actions were, I swapped some of my gold holdings to platinum based off of the ratio. I swapped all of my palladium holdings to platinum. Platinum is a substitute metal for palladium. There's no reason for me not to do it. We were under the cost curve of platinum of the mid-tier producers, and the ratio was a screaming buy. There was nothing telling me that I shouldn't do this. I also have a bunch of silver, and I decided one more platinum exposure. That was another reason. Now, looking at this was some the performance since I did my swap back here. I swapped it, and here's platinum outperforming gold quite reasonably. So, looking at it from the short-term perspective, my swap is good. It is performing better. We did hit a bottom. I think platinum has many uses in industrial applications with fuel cells. I think that fuel cells could be, fuel cells in a hydrogen economy could be a better future because we don't know how to store electricity. You can store electricity as hydrogen through electrolysis. So we could create a whole bunch of hydrogen. Hydrogen could be that storage solution that we're looking for, and then we build hydrogen cars that powers our transportation. So hydrogen is, I mean, if you look at the battery stuff's we have to create a whole bunch of batteries. Now, batteries they literally take physical minerals. Hydrogen, you just split water up and you can store it and then you convert it back. So a hydrogen economy could be where we go based off of shortages in battery materials. Could be. And if that's the case, right now, what is that called? I can't even think of it, but platinum is used as the power source. You've got the cathode, the anode, and I can't remember what they call that thing that goes in between. It's a layer of platinum. I can't remember the name of it, but platinum is used in fuel cells. They can dope in copper and these other things to make it a little bit more robust, but they still use platinum. And if they use platinum's going to get eaten up like no other. So then you're going to hit a constraint in platinum because there's not that much platinum in this world. We don't mine that much of it. It's about 6 million ounces that we mine. It's 8 million with recycling. So if we try to use another million or two on top of what all the demand is for all the other stuff, we could easily eat up all of the inventory, which isn't very much of platinum. And then you're going to see the price of platinum go through the roof. They're also converting platinum. They're converting palladium to platinum in a lot of autocatalyst converters. So platinum's a spot to be, I think, of all the metals. Silver's another spot. Silver and platinum are the two that I really like. Copper's another one. Those three, there's no way around those three. You're going to have to use them in copious amounts if they're going to try to do this renewable world. And I'm not anti-renewable world. I just don't know how they're going to store electricity yet. If it's in hydrogen, then we've got the fuel cell hydrogen world. If it's in batteries, then I don't know how they're going to get all those materials and all the copper and nickel and whatever else they're going to put in here. It's going to be a lot of batteries. I mean, a lot of batteries. I read an article where it's something like all of the batteries produced in every single Tesla to date, commercial batteries, cell phones, everything. It stores like 3 hours worth of how much electricity we use on the grid. So we'd have to produce like massive amounts of batteries to store electricity in batteries if we wanted to store them in batteries for a month or 2 month or 3 month storage of electricity to buffer if something happens. I think it'd be easier just to do hydrogen. Hydrogen is a net energy sink because hydrogen is just a transmitter. It's like electricity. It transmits energy. It's a storage of energy. It's a battery at best. It's not a producer of energy like coal, oil, natural gas. So we could go with this hydrogen economy. Platinum would blow up, and I would probably be pretty happy with that. So if you guys like this content, give me a thumbs up. Let me know if I did the right decision on swapping. Put it in the comment section. But I swapped a good amount of gold, all my palladium, and now I own a little bit of gold, silver, and platinum. If you guys like this content, thank you. Subscribe, and thank you for listening. This is Finding Value.